viewers, and welcome to the last episode of the second season of Crime Watch, your weekly program that seeks to inform you on the roles and operations of the Zimbabwe Republic Police. I am your host, Onesisa Sivanda. We apologize for not being able to bring you sign language today. Inconveniences caused are sincerely regretted. In our news of the week, Zimbabweans are going to be voting throughout the country tomorrow, and as we enter the election and the post-election period, let us continue to maintain a peaceful environment. The Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Honorable Dr. Obert Mpofu, has issued a statement on the security situation in the country at his offices in Harare ahead of the 2018 harmonized elections to be held tomorrow. He urged political parties, groups and individuals to abide by the laws of the country and desist from violence and spreading hate speech, especially through the social media.
Let me reiterate that both state and human security are of paramount importance to us as government during this election period. Hence, our security institutions are on high alert. The government of Zimbabwe is doing all it can to ensure that every citizen exercises his or her democratic right to vote. We have therefore put all state security apparatus on high alert, and all those bent on causing disorder are being warned that the long arm of the law will be applied without fear or favor. The government of Zimbabwe urges all peace-loving Zimbabweans and other stakeholders to remain peaceful and shun all forms of violence. The Zimbabwe Republic Police, together with other security organizations, will continue monitoring the security situation in the country, and anyone found on the wrong side of the law will be dealt with according to the law. And I want to urge all our citizens to uphold peace and tranquility that we enjoy now.
In the same vein, the Commissioner General of Police, Comrade Thandabantu Godwin Matanga, has held a press conference to enlighten the nation on the state of preparedness of the ZRP during the harmonized elections.
Zimbabweans will, from all walks of life, will be exercising their democratic rights of freely choosing local government, parliamentary, senatorial, as well as presidential representatives of their choice. I wish, therefore, to begin by applauding all Zimbabweans for exhibiting a high level of political maturity throughout the campaigning period. May I also thank all civic organizations, religious organizations, government and non-governmental entities, including the Peace and Reconciliation Commission, the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, for taking a robust stand in spreading messages of peace, tolerance, and non-violence throughout the election period. Let me also acknowledge that there were, however, isolated incidences of both intra-party and inter-party politically motivated violence that were reported to the police. I would like to highlight that most of these cases have been investigated and the perpetrators brought to book. Of note also is the unfortunate bombing incident that took place on the 18th of June 2018 during a ZANU-PF rally at the White City Stadium in Bulawayo. Some of the suspects have been arrested and the case is still under investigation. As the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we have already increased police visibility through focused deployments of personnel throughout the country. Identified hotspots prone to political violence are being monitored on a continuous basis. We also urge leaders of political parties and their members to refrain from making irresponsible, inflammatory statements or pronouncements which may incite irresponsible or even violent behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, the ZRP is now ready and fully geared to ensure that the harmonized elections are held in a peaceful, violence-free, and tranquil environment.
Meanwhile, several observer missions were in the country for the elections to be held tomorrow have paid a courtesy call to the Commissioner General of Police at the Police General Headquarters.
We are deploying sufficient police officers at each polling station to enable voters exercise their constitutional right of freely electing political leaders of their own choice without any undue influence, violence, or intimidation from any person or political party. As police, we guarantee the safety and security of all election observers and journalists alike. All our stations have been notified of this important obligation and role. The Zimbabwe Republic Police remains committed to ensuring that the forthcoming elections are conducted in a peaceful, violence-free, and tranquil environment in line with national, regional, and international standards and guidelines governing democratic elections. It is hence my sincere conviction that you shall find your mission in this country worthwhile.
Similarly, the Chief Staff Officer, Press and Public Relations, Senior Assistant Commissioner Charity Charamba, has stressed the need for all political parties contesting the elections tomorrow to shun violence. She said this as she addressed all political parties at Arupe College in Harare.
Management of the electoral process calls for a holistic approach from all sectors of government and various stakeholders. The police has intensified peace campaigns across the country, where we are urging the public to shun any form of political violence. And it might not be political violence only. If violence against women and children, it is also violence. Please do not incite your members into committing violence. It is important that the therapy provides security during the election period. Please, I am appealing to you, may you allow the police service to execute their role. We are going to be deploying police officers at all polling stations, at all strategic positions, and also patrol teams that will be undertaking patrols in the entire country. Let me assure you that the therapy protects life and property without fear or favor, and this relates to all Zimbabweans, irrespective of their gender, color, political party, media organization, or any other background.
Let us not only be peacekeepers, but be makers of peace as we go and vote tomorrow. Stay tuned. We're in the second segment of Crime Watch. Thank you for staying with us. The police and the church share the same mandate of advocating for peace and harmony in our communities. The church comes in handy in restoring good moral values as it preaches love, peace, and unity, thereby complementing the constitutional mandate of the ZRP. In light of this, the organization and the church has held a Thanksgiving prayer for peace which is prevailing in the country.
The theme of this gathering, which reads, Thanksgiving to God the Almighty for the prevailing peace, is most appropriate as it is critical to emphasize the importance of preserving the peace and the tranquility we are currently enjoying during the pre-election period of 30 July 2018 harmonized elections. Considering the love of peace by our citizens, I am convinced that this prevailing peace should be perpetuated into the election and post-election periods. I pray that God's richest blessings be upon Harare province and the nation at large, as He guides us in contributing to a crime-free society which has zeal for preserving peace as well as harmony and tranquility for economic progress within the nation. May the prevailing peace, safety and security be sustained during and after the revered three-tier 2018 harmonized elections. Peace begins with me, peace begins with you, and peace begins with all of us.
As a Christian Community Police Network, we want to thank God for the peace that has been prevailing all this time up to today, and even from today going forward. We know there shall be peace because God is in charge. Zimbabwe deserves peaceful elections. May God bless you.
Tarira kunaka kwazo nokufadza kwazo kana hama dzichigara pamwe chete norugare. Akadeura ropa ndiJesu ende zvakakwana. We want to declare kuti hakuna rimwe ropa richadeuka futi. Hama dzangu munamatoone simba kurerutsa zvinorema, kushandura ane pfungwa dzakaora. Rome was a powerful nation. Empire yese yaive peace. There was peace in the land and a peace kumaseas. Mambo rugare ndomba auya. Saka ndakutaura kuchurch kuti pasina peace vhangeri hariparidzike. Runyararo rwakakosha kuvanhu vese munyika. Ma-investors haauye kana pasina peace.
Meanwhile, the police has completed deploying police officers at all polling stations to maintain law and order as Zimbabweans vote tomorrow. However, the Zimbabwe Republic Police has dismissed a story published in the Masvingo Mirror alleging that 35,000 police officers will not be able to vote tomorrow.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police would like to inform the nation that, contrary to the information that was published in the Mirror, a newspaper based in Masvingo, where it is alleged that 35,000 police officers are not going to vote, the correct position is that, in fact, all police officers are going to vote, as they were deployed in areas where they were also registered. The Zimbabwe Republic Police would like to allay these fears and also tell all our officers that they should not be hoodwinked by the falsehoods that have been published by the Masvingo Mirror. We want to reassure our police officers and the nation at large that no one is going to be disenfranchised. All our police officers are going to vote, and prior arrangements have already been made that we cater for all our police officers. Everyone has a right to vote.
Moving on, the Zimbabwe Republic Police has promoted non-commissioned officers in terms of Section 9 of the Police Act, which empowers the Commissioner General of Police to make such promotions when need arises. The promoted members were recently conferred with their ranks throughout the country.
As you assume new badges of rank, always remember that the organization expects you to be forthright, exemplary in your conduct, visionary, firm, fair, resourceful, professional, passionate, loyal, patriotic, and be role models to your peers and subordinates. The gender mainstreaming dimension evident in this promotion exercise is quite commendable. As more females have been promoted,
in harmony with the organization's desire to ensure 50-50 gender parity in all our policing endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, this promotion exercise has come at a time when Zimbabwe is about to conduct watershed harmonized elections on 30 July 2018. The totality of the Zimbabwean citizenry, and indeed the whole world, is fixated on us to ensure the elections are held in a free and peaceful environment. In this regard, let me take this opportunity to remind you that the level of preparedness required of us is very high.
I'm very grateful to the Commissioner General of Police for this promotion, and I'm also grateful that he himself is recognizing gender in the police. As you can see that the promotion actually was half ladies, half men.
I would like to thank the Commissioner General of Police, Comrade Matanga, for promoting me and other newly promoted non-commissioned members. And I also want to engage other newly promoted non-commissioned members to execute their duties professionally and fairly and shun any form of corruption.
Message yaningangosiya kune vamwe ndeyekuti varambe vari disciplined vachiteera maorders avanenge vachipuwa nemasuperiors avo.
Crime Watch would like to congratulate our assistant producer, Jameson Kajombo, on his promotion to the rank of sergeant. Join us in the third and final segment. We are in the third and final segment of Crime Watch. Agriculture is the backbone of the country's economy, and the police will bring to book all criminals bent on derailing the government efforts to boost agriculture output. Police in Karoi recently recovered several motorbikes which had been stolen from farmers. We spoke to Detective Assistant Inspector Muchingami from CID Karoi.
The community, we police, mostly uses motorcycles as a mode of transport. From the period January to May, we received a spate of theft of these motorcycles. These criminals, they are approaching these motorcycles whilst they are parked at complainant's residence. They cut the ignition cable and hotwired the motorcycles. We formed a crack team, picked up information and arrested one by the name Bernard Karombwana, interviewed and further led to the arrest of 3 other accomplices. The 4 then led to the recovery of these 5 motorcycles. The other engine was sold to Gachekache fishing camp, where it was used as a boat engine, which is used by the fishermen. I'm urging the members of the public to properly secure their motorcycles, especially when they are returning to bed.
ZRP volleyball sensation Constable Charles Nyamaswe has flown the organization's and the country's flag high as he recently returned from Japan, where he had undergone volleyball trials.
Hello Zimbabwe, I'm Charles Nyamashe. I'm a volleyball player and I'm a member of Zimbabwe Republic Police at Police General Headquarters. Recently, I was in Japan for volleyball trials. I was invited by the club Oita Miyoshi Waise Adler. I've been there for a month. I've learned a lot, especially on technique, skills. Their levels are a bit very high when comparing to ours here in Africa. Right now, I'm waiting for my results, which are to come around October. I just want to thank the organization for affording me the time to go and participate for those trials. I thank my coaches, I thank my teammates. I also thank my family for being there for me, for the support. These are some of the medals I have achieved so far in my volleyball career. My wish right now is to play in top leagues abroad.
Elections will be held tomorrow, and the ZRP will remain on high alert during and after elections. As police, we are ensuring security to all Zimbabweans and foreign visitors, irrespective of one's color, gender, creed, or affiliations. Let us all be responsible citizens, abide by the country's laws, and shun all forms of violence, especially during this period. Viewers, this is the last episode of the second season of Crime Watch. We would like to thank our valued sponsor, FMC Finance, for taking us through this journey. We would also like to thank you for the feedback that you gave us to improve our production. From me, Onesisa Sibanda, and the crew behind the scenes, join us in the third season as we bring you more on the operations of the Zimbabwe Republic Police.
Votai, votai, votai. Votai, votai, votai. Votai muruda. Votai makadakara. Voterai rugare. Peace begins with you. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with all of